What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to Coaster Talk podcast episode. I can't even tell you at this point. I have so many pre-recorded episodes, I don't even know what episode I'm on right now. Anyway, I am joined by a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. I am Zero G Coasters. I run a YouTube channel currently with about 180 subscribers or so. I don't know. I don't really keep up with it anymore. I haven't posted in probably a month. But yeah, I'm excited to be on this podcast, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I have not posted at all, really, especially coaster stuff. I'm trying to get my music section of my channel back up to par with the coaster section, and that is quite the challenge. Anyway, we have a couple of interesting topics to talk about today, and Zero G Coasters won a contest in the Kennywood vlog. Alex said he hated El Toro, and it was a 20-minute video, so I was like, if anybody actually watches this, I want to see if they can tell me what Alex said, and yet somebody did, so here he is.
So yeah, I got that right somehow because I actually watched that entire video. It was really good, actually. So go check it out if you haven't already. It's a good vlog.
Thank you. I enjoyed
But
making
yeah,
that.
I'm just gonna get into the first headline now since we just got some information revealed to us, and it would probably be a few days ago now if the video releases, probably a few days
Yes.
after. But as of recording, this information just got released today, and it is on the Glenwood Caverns accident. We know what happened fully, so I'm just gonna go over a quick article, and I'll just say this. So here we go. So, staff did not properly check the seatbelts and allowed a 6-year-old girl to sit on top of them on the haunted mine drop ride at Glenwood Caverns. When alerted by the ride system, the staff reset the system and sent the ride out. This was a clear lapse in training and judgment that resulted in a tragic death that could have been avoided. The staff were also recent hires who have only been working there for 2 weeks now. The ride system was also at fault for allowing a reset when the seatbelt was not fully secured. So, there's a little bit on that, and currently there's a little bit of a trend going on, or not a trend, but a hashtag saying hashtag boycott Glenwood for this because it was not a pretty thing.
Yeah, no, that's
We've
sad. That's sad.
speculating
That's
on
really...
what's happened really with this incident. Maybe she slipped under the seatbelt because she wasn't reaching the height requirement, but now we fully see this, and this is completely management in the ride's fault. So there's gonna have to be some ride issues, or ride checks that's gonna have to be redone. Maybe adding, I don't know. I don't want to say over the shoulder restraints that might let some people down, but
I would say
I
lap
don't know about
bars.
that. It might happen. I would say lap bars, if anything, just a
Yeah.
secondary restraint to,
Correct me if
like,
I'm
there's two
wrong.
seatbelts already, but
Yeah, correct me if
we need
I'm...
something that the ride ops need something that they could clearly see, and this was also just poor training
Yeah.
that went into it. So,
Correct
and it's also
me...
the ride's fault partially because it literally reset when the um,
Well, that was
seatbelt was
operator
not
error.
secured.
That part was operator error. But correct me if I'm wrong. That drop tower is one of two drop towers where seatbelts are the only restraint, and the other one's in the boardwalk at South Carolina.
Um, there's one in Pigeon Forge. I have not been on
Okay.
it, but I have seen it before. And there's also one in Branson, Missouri. So
There's like four of them, but
four.
they're
There's
a
four.
very rare,
They're a very rare breed.
yeah,
They're
very rare
by
ride model.
the ones at Pigeon Forge and Branson. I know they're by Stan Checkett's.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they haven't had any issues. I don't think the Myrtle Beach one has had issues either.
No, I was
So
close to riding
don't
the Myrtle
fact check
Beach
me on
one,
that, but I don't think they have had issues.
but this is the
So
only drop tower that I do know of that it starts you at the what would theoretically be the top of the drop tower. Like the section of ride where you're actually being pulled back up to the top is at the end of the ride. You drop first thing.
yeah, it's a very interesting concept, actually. It's really fun. And I don't know what's really going to happen after this incident. I would probably say a secondary restraint to complement the two seatbelts just to make it easier for ride ops to see that the restraint is in place. I don't want to say over the shoulder restraints, but it could happen.
I would agree with that. Maybe not exactly over the shoulder restraints. That seems super unpopular for drop towers, except if you're SNS. But
Yeah, SNS.
um, I mean, Intamin drop towers. I forget the company that made them, but they're definitely minimalist is the best you could possibly
Yeah.
do. The
And
lowest you
yeah,
can
you're
go.
right with the over the shoulder restraints. I know Intamin uses like this over the shoulder lap bar kind of thing, and that works pretty well. I haven't been on one of their drop towers with that, but I have been on an SNS over the shoulder restraint, power tower at Cedar Point.
Yeah, those
That
are
restraint, let
comfortable.
me just say, it's a really loose over the shoulder restraint
Yeah, those
though.
are
So
comfortable.
it's a pretty easy way to get wiggle room, and I could see that happening because it's really not a tight restraint at all, and it's very easy to get room on the drop.
Yeah, I agree. Those are very very comfortable. And I mean, the triple towers at Hersheypark, they got the little seat belts in the past like off season or so. And I mean, I've been on Zumanjaro too. That's like a lap bar. I also believe Lex Luthor has the lap bar too.
It's the lap bar over the shoulder restraint that
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. It's it, I would say consider it more of a lap bar because the over the
Yeah,
shoulder restraint it's awkward, but it works out. It's kind of like a
it's kind
vest
of like
restraint.
grab handles.
Yeah, it's kind of like a vest restraint, like how it's like the exoskeleton of a vest restraint, but instead of no vest
Yeah,
being there, it's just a lap bar, which is really nice. It's
it
very
reminds
open.
me. It reminds me of those like B&M family inverted coaster restraints. Those are
Yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's like that. It's like an over the shoulder lap bar. It's like the vest on an invert, kind of like Banshee, but think about it without the vest part, and it's just like an over the shoulder lap bar.
Yeah, Zumanjar is awesome though. I like that's a very good drop tower. That's my
I
favorite.
don't really ride a lot of drop towers at parks, but I think Power Tower's a pretty fun ride. It's nothing like good. It's not like insane drop tower. I think it's kind of forceless and it doesn't give that good stomach drop, but it's a pretty fun ride. And I can't not mention Tower of Terror because that's an incredible drop tower. Because
Yeah,
I've actually ridden that one also.
I haven't been to Disney yet. I think later this year or early next year is when I'm trying to go. But I mean, if you're going to Great Adventure, why not hop on the world's tallest drop tower? It's a
Yeah,
really
why
good
not?
ride.
It doesn't really have a line normally, so.
Yeah, but I have a funny story. I it broke down twice, and then I get in the queue line that's like a mile long. The queue line is so long because you have to walk the entire length of King Dekal's launch track, and then you have to do like 15 switchbacks. It's like a mile long. Anyway, it broke down once when I was like walking that enormously long queue line, and then I was on the first train or first cycle after it broke down. And at first, I was the only one on the middle car, and I sat on the end row. And then two other girls like came on like higher teens, and we just had like a full conversation on the way up the drop tower. It was so long. We had like a full conversation.
Wow.
It,
Um, I think we should move on to our next headline. And this is one that I kind of came off the top of my head. This is a kind of quick headline that I want to talk about. It's just about Six Flags in general and how they're kind of transferring over to a Cedar Fair model where they're adding one or two coasters a year to parks. And they're like big B&Ms, and I think they could work with Intamin in the future. But they're going for these big coasters, very similar to Cedar Fair. And I think it's going to turn out well for them. They're going for the big spender thing, but not like every park gets one.
yeah, they're kind of removing. They're known as the discount chain. It's gonna be hard for them to fully make that transition, but they definitely have potential to become a better chain than what they currently are.
Yeah, they're definitely improving in a way. I've only been to one Six Flags park, Great America, and I was very impressed by their ride lineup. Like they had big B&Ms, they have an RMC, just that lineup, it's so stacked. And I think really they can just stack every park.
Great America looks
And
like a
I think
super underrated park. Like I don't know why people don't talk about that more often.
yeah, I just think that Six Flags, they've been adding these cheap, crappy flat rides, and now they're transitioning over to these Cedar Fair model, and I think this will really do them well. I don't know how it's gonna really go, but it looks like the future is bright for Six Flags.
Yeah, I will admit their motto is kind of like it's changing, but the flat rides are cool and all, but it's not really doing it for them. And I don't know how they expect to see an increase in attendance without making bigger investments to get out of debt.
Yeah, they're going for the big. They're a big spender now. So
Yeah,
we've seen this with Doctor Diabolical's Cliffhanger and the new Six Flags Magic Mountain Raptor, which probably, hopefully, gets announced by the time this video comes out. But it probably won't at this point because it's already October almost, and they haven't even done anything for it.
well, that's Six Flags can't fix everything. That's gonna open halfway through the season next year. We can expect.
They do have the footers up completely, so.
Yeah, I mean, good for them. But Raptors, we saw Jersey Devil. I mean, yeah, there was COVID and stuff, but
But
the
Jersey Devil, I mean, they actually opened it.
yeah, the track work was quick and all, but it's all the hardware and programming that the coaster needs that took
Yeah.
quite a long time.
Yeah, so do you have any other headlines that you want to talk about? I think
I
I
mean,
know there's one. Um,
yeah, I mean,
are we
I don't
both thinking
care.
the same thing?
Yeah, this
SkyRush?
is yeah. We can talk about
Yeah,
whatever you
SkyRush.
want. You're the one who won the challenge. We can talk about and do
Yeah.
whatever you want during this episode.
I think this SkyRush dilemma, finally, it's open again, and then it got evac from the break run. I have no clue what happened. I don't know. I really don't know what happened at all.
My friend
I'm
was
not
there
really.
today.
I've never been to Hersheypark.
Really?
Follow Hersheypark a lot just because I think it's a really nice park and stuff. But all I know is that Hersheypark, on SkyRush today, it got evacuated midway through the day on the break run.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
know what
about
caused it or anything, but
it
after
was
it opened
closed.
a week after, of course it has to break down because it's an intimate.
Yeah, so my friend was there today and he was telling me about it. It closed midday and then it opened back up at 5 and ran till closing, which is good, but I don't know what the evac was all about. But Skyrush isn't doing incredible today. They were stacking and operations were terrible, but lines weren't bad.
I think SkyRush really just isn't that popular for the park anymore. Like, sure, all the enthusiasts love it or hate it, according to Airtime Thrills. But like, really, it doesn't really bring in the general public since it's more of an intense, snappy, airtime filled coaster. And sure, we've seen like airtime filled and like ejector, like really tall coasters, that are somewhat intense, like get praise from the general public, like Fury 325, let's say. But just this one, it reminds me of I-305. It's kind of flopping, not gonna lie. Just it's not really doing as well as the park hoped it probably would.
Oh yeah, I mean Skyrush was a fail. I-305 was a fail. Everybody knows that, but from an enthusiast standpoint, we all love it, and it's one of those coasters where you can't like make an assumption about it until you actually like been on it. You see it on its good days and you see it on its bad days.
Yeah.
And with like I have over 60 rides on Skyrush, I think, and I've seen it in its brightest time and then in its darkest time, and when it's cold out, it's like a really enjoyable. It feels kind of like it feels like a more mild RMC. I would say like Twisted Timbers when it's cold out, like your October season. Skyrush runs
Wait a minute.
fine.
Did you just call Twisted Timbers a mild RMC?
Okay, I rode Twisted Timbers on a really bad day, and I don't want to talk about
Oh,
it.
I think it's more. I think it has better airtime than Steel Vengeance, but it doesn't have
Yeah,
more.
I'll admit, I got two rides on Twisted Timbers. One was really good, and then one was bad in the middle of the train, and I called it a mild RMC from the bad ride in the middle of the train. But
So yeah, I agree with you. Kind of Skyrush was a flop. I-305 was a flop. And just, I think these big ejector machines don't really draw the general public. They mostly go for enthusiasts. Stormrunner, it's an intense ride. It doesn't get the biggest weights, but it can get some decent weights.
it gets
I
some
saw
pretty
today it
long
got
waits.
30-minute waits on a super crowded Saturday.
Yeah.
So I don't know about that, but I think yeah that. But Fahrenheit's a really popular coaster because it's a looping coaster. Everyone's gonna go to it.
Fahrenheit
It's like
has
a sit
really
down
bad
looping coaster.
capacity though.
It really reminds me of a Gerstlauer almost. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, I'll agree
But
with you there. Fahrenheit is good and all, but it has really terrible capacity, which gives you really long lines. Like I only have one ride on Fahrenheit this season, just because the lines were so long, and I waited almost 2 hours, and it broke down 3 times when I was waiting for it. And for most of the season, they've only been running 2 trains because one of the trains has been in rehab.
ooh, which
Yeah,
is just not good. I've seen Fury. I've ridden Fury 55 times this year, which is just a
that's
complete flex
crazy.
at this point. But you've ridden SkyRush 60. But
That's not this season
I've
though.
ridden it 55 times this year, and about 40 times they were only running 2 trains. Mostly because one of the trains was down all year. And I may
Yeah,
have commented that on your video once that one
yeah.
of the wheel assembly was like messed up or something. I heard from the ride op.
Hmm.
But yeah, they got it fixed for my last visit 2 weeks ago when I had fast lane, so I rode it 15 times in one day.
So they did fix that then,
They did fix that wheel issue.
and
And
it
one more
was
thing I
running three
want to point
trains.
out is about like how I said ejector machines don't really draw in the general public and a ton of crowds
That's like
normally.
intimate
They normally
ejector
draw in
machines.
the enthusiasts. Like Twisted Timbers, I've never seen it get an insane amount of wait time. Like I know it can get big wait times,
I've
but
waited
like
about 30
I
minutes
always go
for
in the
it.
morning when it like has no wait whatsoever.
Yeah, I've waited about 30 minutes for
Yeah,
Twisted
I
Timbers.
think just the most popular coaster in Kingston is definitely Dominator because it's a B&M looper. Any B&M that isn't like an even B&M Hypers, even B&M Gigas, literally just all the B&Ms, they're just people eaters.
Yeah.
And one exception, I think, to the bake ejector machine is Steel Vengeance. It gets insane lines. General public members actually like really like it also. I mean,
It's also because it's just at Cedar Point, and it's like if you don't
yes,
go on the advertised best coaster in the world, like what are you doing there? You know what I mean?
yeah, that's
It's kind
it's
of like
kind of an
if
exception.
I-305 were at Kings Island, it would probably be pretty successful. It's just the fact that it's at.
It really it's kind of just where it is. Kind of location makes it huge hit.
Yeah, I would agree with
And
that.
yeah, so
But I want to go
B&M's
back to.
always bringing crowds. It like they literally always bring it. It's not even a shocker that they just I don't know, they just pile up everything.
It's sad that at Kings Dominion, their relocated roller coaster, their relocated floorless is not only their most popular coaster now that Volcano got removed, but it's also the coaster with the best capacity.
I know. And I-305 has a decent capacity, except they were stacking trains hard two
Yes.
weeks ago. Like, no, like 3 weeks ago when I went.
Oh,
They were
that's
stacking
crazy.
trains. I got stuck on the brake run for 10 minutes because they were training ride offs.
How is it? I haven't been on it since 2018.
Oh, a back row ride. It really refreshed me. I also did it second time because why not?
Yeah, I
But
got.
it was really good. My first time I kind of crapped on it saying it was kind of forceless, not gonna lie. But like other than the first snap at the very beginning, first turn, that absolutely was insane. I really didn't experience much. I actually blacked out on that first turn for my first time ever. And the like later turns, I didn't feel force on them. But in the back row, the drop, I don't want to say it's better than Fury, but I might have to. Like I don't know. I think Fury's drop is still better,
Fury's drop is better in my opinion,
but I think
just ever so slightly.
Millennium Force, I think, still has a better drop than I-305.
I haven't
And
been on
I
Millennium
don't know. I
Force
think
yet.
it's maybe because I've gotten more rides on Millennium Force. I got 6 rides on Millennium Force, and I've only ridden I-305 4 times, even though King's Dominion's like one of my home parks and Sierra Point's 11 hours away from me.
So what
But,
are your home parks?
oh yeah, I'm just going to address that really quickly because I haven't mentioned it, and we're like, I don't know, 20 minutes in almost.
Yeah.
My home parks are Carowinds, Kings Dominion, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. I have a weird location. I'm like exactly in the middle between the three. So any way you go, you're still gonna get 3 hours at all of them. And Kings Dominion is technically my home park. It is the closest to me, but I think Carowinds is still considered my home park because it's at least in my state,
Yeah.
North Carolina. So at least I consider it my home park, even though it's
Well,
like
those aren't
10
bad home
minutes
parks to have.
farther.
Those are all good home parks to have. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Hershey and Knoebels. Both of them are like almost completely polar opposites with like setting and style, but both of them are really good home parks to have.
I'm just really, I don't know. It's kind of a toss up when it comes to these home parks because good thing is that I have three of them and they're all pretty good, like world class parks.
Yeah, I would
Just the
agree.
bad thing is that I have to drive 3 hours. Obviously, I'm not able to drive, but like, it's kind of annoying that I have to drive 3 hours just to get to a major park.
Yeah,
But
that
it's
would
still lucky
stink.
I have three of them.
But
It's kind of a dilemma.
yeah, that has its pros and cons. You can pick what park you want to go to, but you're spending the same amount of time driving. I could see how that could get annoying, but that would be all right with me.
Another, another kind of problem I have is the good thing is that Carowinds and King's Dominion both are in the same chain, Cedar Fair, but I
Mhm.
have to get a completely different pass to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, so that's going to cost more money. And I have the Cedar Fair Platinum Pass just so I can go to all
Yeah.
the Cedar Fair parks. And then I'm gonna have to get a Dollywood pass next year since Dollywood's only 4.5 hours away from me. Since I'm gonna go a lot, I'm going this November for whatever it's called, the Christmas event there.
Mhm. That yeah, that
And so
people say that's pretty incredible.
yeah, that looks like a really good Christmas event. And I'm going to Silver Dollar City next week. I
Oh
don't know,
wow.
12 days, I think. I'm excited for that though,
That's
because
crazy.
that park just it looks like Dollywood, but on a just better. I don't know, better just.
See, I don't know which one is better. I think I'd have to experience the two and do them, numerous times before I could say, oh, I can confidently say Dollywood or Silver Dollar City is better than another.
I've done 2 visits to Dollywood in my lifetime and zero to Silver Dollar City. And I'm only doing a 1 day to Silver Dollar City, so it might be a problem. And I'm going on a Friday, so like it shouldn't be a huge concern. And it's also gonna be when schools are in.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna be fine. I'm
Yeah,
taking off like 3 days of school just for this, and
that would be awesome.
I should be fine. I'm gonna buy a Trailblazer pass, which is their fast pass,
Mhm.
just to be confident that I can ride everything. But yeah, I'm also gonna go to Six Flags St. Louis and Worlds of Fun with that trip. So that's gonna be really fun. And
That would be fun.
yeah,
St. Louis also looks like a slightly underrated park. Hate me if you want. I said it.
exactly. I think they would really benefit from a mini B&M Hyper almost. Just
Yeah, like Superman at Laurent.
wait, Superman? Is
Sup-
it called Superman?
It's called something
No, it's
Superman at
Goliath.
Laurent. Oh, it's
No, wait,
called
no, no, no,
Goliath?
no.
No, I don't
No, it
really
isn't.
know.
It's called Goliath.
Is that at Laurent? The Goliath?
Yeah, that's
I
that's
thought it
the
was called
Luron B&M
Superman.
Hyper. All these Goliaths confuse me.
Yeah,
Luckily, I've only ridden one, but
I've never been on a coaster named Goliath. Actually,
I've
I
only
don't
been
know.
on one. But just, oh, I don't.
That would be the
Why? Why
RMC
is
one, right? Because Six Flags America, Great America. Jeez, not America.
I've ridden that, so luckily. And just like a really quick thing, I've ridden 4 RMCs, soon to be five with Outlaw Run. Hopefully, it's not closed because I've seen it. I've seen Outlaw Run's been closed recently a lot, which hopefully does. Hopefully, it means that it's. Hopefully, that doesn't mean it's getting the iBox retrack over the season. If it is,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not gonna have good luck with that. I'm gonna be pretty mad, but
it's pretty
hopefully it
polarizing.
will.
Like that coaster has been really polarizing the last like year and a half with
I heard
everybody
it
saying
might get
it's
the
been
iBox
really rough.
retracking, but it
I
might not. I'm hoping it isn't.
I am so jealous of everybody who's gotten like a 2016 ride on Lightning Round. Like one of my bandmates, he was like
And
he
I've gone.
you
They're
did.
lucky. I mean, you haven't ridden it, but like they're lucky. I've done a 2021 ride, and
It's interesting.
it's interesting. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I think it's a fun ride. Still, it's in my top three. It's my number three, but I had to move Fury over it. Now I'm considering moving Twisted Timbers over it. And yeah, Goliath, I think is the worst RMC. I think it's really fun. I rode in the back row. The drop is just great, but I
That
think
drop
like
looks massive.
I do think the stall would be insane just with how big and how long it looks. But one thing I have to mention is that those shin guards limit all that hang time you're ever getting.
Hmm. That's
I
interesting.
really, I really think that it's the zero G stall in Goliath is way too overrated. Like, I was not impressed by it. I think Copperhead Strikes JoJo are almost 10 times better.
Oh yeah, that JoJo roll's crazy.
Oh
I
my
got
gosh, yeah,
stapled, but
that
I still
thing.
got hang time.
Oh, that thing is just. I don't know how to say it. I don't know.
That was
It's
probably
so
my
good.
least favorite part about the Carowinds trip. The ride op wouldn't let us pick our row, but oh
Huh.
well, we got dead center of the train. But I was still very impressed by the forces I felt like in the second half of the ride and the first half. The I guess you would say like a miniature Stangle dive. That was impressive, and a couple of the ejector moments were pretty awesome.
Just really quickly, did you ever ride into which road did you ride Intimidator?
I rode back row right side.
Is that it?
Yeah, I couldn't get another ride
What
on
is
it.
your opinion on it? Just really quickly.
I think it's super underrated.
Oh wow, I think if you ride in the front, it's way, way, way better. The front
Really,
just you get a ton of airtime.
I got
Like
a bunch
the
of
drop
airtime.
in the back is great, but like
Yeah,
the
I prefer
front,
the This lo- that
it's
that
so
train
good.
is super long. I've never been on a hyper train that's that long. Maybe SkyRush is as long, but the
You
drop
know,
is
I don't think so.
the drop is that's my favorite B&M hyper drop out of the three that I've been on. But the
I've been on three
airtime,
B&M Hypers also, but sadly, it's the second best B&M Hyper drop because I've ridden Raging Bull, and
yeah,
need I say more than that?
no, you don't have to. Anyway,
And
the
I don't have to because we're out of time, right? I
Well,
think
yeah,
we're out
yeah.
of
I'll
time.
finish. We'll finish final thoughts, but
Yeah.
the airtime on Intimidator is really interesting because the trims hit really hard the day I was there, and with almost every hill being trimmed, the airtime didn't come in the first half of the hill, but it came in the second half, which is like a really
Oh,
interesting feeling. I didn't mind, but I honestly really enjoyed it, and I did do a POV of that coaster, so whenever that comes out, you can tell that the train it's so heavy that it just picks up speed after the trim. Like
no.
it stays so consistent even with the trims on.
Coaster that I think really keeps its speed throughout an airtime hill is Maverick. Dude, those hills are so like I can't say more than literally I thought I was gonna get flung into outer space on them.
Yeah.
They're almost like it's painful, but it's not. I got stapled on Maverick out of my four rides. I got stapled like every time on Maverick because the restraints. I don't mind them so
Yeah, I was
much.
gonna say,
I like the soft
how do you
plastic,
feel
but
the
just
restraints?
oh, it dude, getting stapled on that airtime hill. If you're stapled, you're gonna just it
You're
hurts
gonna
too
get
much.
it.
It like I can't say it hurts so much. It's just uncomfortable airtime.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Is that you want to say anything else
Yeah.
before we close out?
Um, go subscribe to Zero G Coasters. I hopefully will
Link in
upload.
description.
Yeah, I hopefully will upload within the next year, but cross your fingers because I'm not
Don't
planning
stress
to.
yourself out. Take a nice long break. Don't
Yes,
don't
nice
if I
4 month break.
Yeah, if I can seriously give any advice, it'd be like if you don't feel motivated to upload, don't upload because it's a waste of time. Because whenever I don't feel like uploading, I'm not gonna upload a POV and just let everybody down. Like I'm definitely going to take time away from YouTube, which is why I haven't really been uploading that much.
Really? I'm really waiting till next week so I can just announce the Silver City thing. And if you're just a little, I mean, if you haven't heard it already, I'm going to Silver City. I haven't announced it to anything, but this week I will announce that I'm going to Silver City. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be one video. It's gonna be a quick video, but there's gonna be a Silver City vlog, Six Flags St. Louis vlog, Worlds of Fun vlog,
and I
and a
those are
lot
gonna
of
be
coach
great.
rankings from then. My top 25 is now gonna come up because yeah, I think that needs a redo. But
Mm-hmm.
while we're at it, just to end it off, I'm gonna read my top 25 so you can absolutely rage over it.
Okay, let's do it.
So, number 20, Gemini at Cedar Point. Number 19, Raven at Cedar Point. Number 18, Thunderhead at Dollywood. Number 17, Alpengeist at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Number 16, Griffin at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Number 15, Raptor at Cedar Point. Number 14, Millennium Forceful at Cedar Point. Number 13, Afterburn at Carowinds. Number 12, Goliath at Six Flags Great America. Number 11, Copperhead Strike at Carowinds. Unpopular pick there. Number 10, Apollo's Chariot at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Number 9, Raging Bull at Six Flags Great America. Number 8, Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point. Number 7, Intimidator 3 or 5 at Kings Dominion. Number 6, Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point. Number 5, Maverick at Cedar Point. Number 4, Twisted Tumors at King's Dominion. Number 3, Lightning Rod at Dollywood. Number 2, Fury 325 at Carowinds. And finally, number 1, Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. There we go.
Number one's predictable. I mean, everybody's number one is
It's
predictable.
pure
Um,
predictable. I have not ridden El Toro yet, so
I
can't
would
put it in my
say
top 5. It's the
um,
Magnum pick. I think
Magnum. Yeah, I would switch
everybody
around
who I
personally
say,
Magnum and Millennium, but that's just
I
me.
know, but everyone I talk to about the Magnum pick, they're like, "What? You think Magnum's a good ride?" And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I would respect that, but it's
I'm a
that's not like
Magnum
what I would say.
fanboy.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a lot of
I
them out
I
there.
love that ride. I
See,
got 8 rides on it.
if you like Magnum, you're gonna like SkyRush a lot. Like Magnum is
Oh yes.
Magnum's airtime looks so much more inconsistent than SkyRush, but you're gonna really enjoy SkyRush.
So it's like the power of Magnum's airtime almost, but like not as painful.
Yeah, yeah. Like SkyRush is super, super, super consistent with giving any type of forces. You know, the negative forces.
Oh, so it's like I-305 and Magnum kind of combined.
Yeah, it's kind of like Maverick, I-305, and Magnum all in one coaster. I mean, I'm probably
Oh
missing a
yes, I
few,
don't like that.
but you're gonna really like it. I would also say that Alpen guys kind of surprised me. I don't know how people feel about that, but I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. And
It's a hit or miss for me. I have it below Griffin by 1 spot,
yeah, that's the
just
part that
because
surprised me.
I get so many good rides on
And that was
Griffin.
at
I
like
think
number
it's way
16
better
or
than
something.
Valraven. Valraven is fun. I did get a front row on Valraven. I snagged front row middle seat,
Hmm.
and it was fun. I think the forces weren't as good as Griffin, or the drop wasn't as good as Griffin, but just the dive coaster gimmick, the one trick pony thing, just the hanging over the edge, like it didn't scare me at all. But like I know it's coming, so I'm not
Yeah,
really scared. It's fun. It kind of surprises me because you just kind of hang over, and it feels it's really good. In the drop, you get really good weightlessness, and yeah.
dive
But
coasters are
like I
just a
don't
fan
get scared on
favorite.
coasters. The only time I've been legitimately scared on coasters is when I used to ride coasters as a kid and when I was super young and I rode like Loch Ness Monster and stuff, but like that was really, really old memories. And
Hmm.
Loch Ness Monster, I rode it with the old trains. That thing sucked with the old trains, but with the new trains, it's way better. And I think the other time is like a true enthusiast. Like the one time as a true enthusiast, I got scared. Not scared. I would say I had like chills. Was Top Thrill Dragster just sitting on that launch track? You like hear and everyone says, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be. It's kind of scary just sitting on that launch
Yeah.
track." And I'm like, "It's not gonna be that scary." Sits on launch track. Yeah. And the fact that I was sitting in the front row and I could see everything ahead of me made me think,
King to
all
front
right,
row is
let's
super
just
neat.
can we just get this over with?
Yeah. I have to agree.
Yeah, but
It's a
that
little nerve-wracking, but it's fun. Like I was
oh my
excited.
gosh. I
I
also got whiplash because I was an idiot and decided to put my hands up on the launch.
Yeah, and then I'd say the last thing that
That's
surprised
just
me.
tips for kids. Do not put your hands up on top of the dragster's launch or your shoulders will be bruised for the rest of your Cedar Point trip. That's what happened to
Arms
me.
down, head back, hold on.
I didn't listen at all. I probably should have, but I didn't.
I'd say the
Well,
last thing
yeah.
that surprised me is Afterburn being so low. I guess you could say. Like I would probably switch that and Copperhead. I guess it just depends what type
I'm
of coaster you're into.
I'm really into Copperhead. I've gotten probably like
And I see where you're
24 rides
coming
on it
from
this
with that.
year.
That ride's.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that
I've just
ride's
kind of fallen in
underrated.
love with it. Sometimes there's just not intense rides like Copperhead that I don't know. It has a special place in my heart for being a really fun ride.
Yeah, it's underrated. I have to say it's not a bad ride. People crap on the launch, but the launch isn't the main focus. The hang
All
time
right.
is good, but the forces are great.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
wrap this up for now.
Anyway, link down
Anyways,
in the
thank you
description.
guys for watching. Before we end, I wanted to say like, subscribe, and comment on your channel, and also subscribe to my channel. Link in the description.
Yeah, link in
And
description.
if I ever upload, then make sure to stop by in the comments and say hi.
Yes.
If it, the big question is if. But yeah. Anyways, see ya.
Yeah. See ya.